Never stop reading the Bible. Today, we're embarking on a really fascinating deep dive into a collection of ancient wisdom, the book of Proverbs. Specifically, we're looking at chapters 28, 29, 30, and 31. Okay, let's unpack this then, starting with Proverbs 28 and 29. They immediately present this really powerful contrast between two very distinct ways of life. What are the key differences we're seeing here? And I guess, what are their consequences? They seem surprisingly enduring.
Yeah, what's fascinating here is that Proverbs doesn't just offer moral advice. It lays out a foundational principle. The wicked, well, despite any temporary gains they might seem to have, they're characterized by fear, by oppression, and ultimately an unstable foundation that just leads to their downfall. Think of that image, someone fleeing when no one's even pursuing them. That's the picture it paints.
Right, that sense of inner turmoil.
Exactly. And then in stark contrast, you have the righteous.
Yeah.
They're described as bold as a lion. They uphold justice and their integrity. It brings respect and, well, a sense of divine blessing. Those who faithfully follow divine law, they don't just avoid trouble. The text suggests they actively flourish. It's kind of a radical ancient worldview, isn't it? Where true security isn't really about power, but about principle.
That's a powerful statement about sort of individual fate. How does this wisdom then scale up? How does it affect entire societies and, those in leadership?
Well, these passages paint a really clear picture here. It says, when righteous people abound in a nation, the whole populace finds peace. They celebrate. But when the wicked rule, people groan. It's quite direct. So rulers are called to govern with justice, with honesty, and a profound care for the poor and marginalized. It's almost like a blueprint for national stability.
A blueprint. I like that.
Yeah, Proverbs 29.4, for instance, it warns that a king brings stability through justice, but one who takes bribes tears the country down. So this isn't just about, personal morality. It's about the very fabric of governance. And it also mentions that neglecting to genuinely repent leads to ruin, but a humble heart before the divine that brings true safety for everyone involved.
Okay, so from these broader societal observations, chapter 30 pivots inward, doesn't it? Through Augur's unique lens, his sayings offer this raw, almost strikingly honest self-confession about human limitations. What does Augur reveal about our frailty and maybe the path to wisdom?
Augur starts with his profound humility. It's quite striking. He confesses his own lack of understanding, his lack of wisdom compared to God. He really emphasizes human foolishness and weakness, reminding us that true wisdom often begins with acknowledging, our own limitations. And this chapter highlights common human sins, things like pride, the insatiable nature of greed.
Oh, yes, the leech metaphor.
Right. The leech's two daughters crying, give, give. It's such a vivid image of that insatiability and also blatant disrespect for parents. Then the chapter shifts to observations on these 4 things that are small but extremely wise, like ants or locusts. It's teaching us these discerning life lessons through the natural world. It's a reminder, I think, that wisdom isn't just knowing right from wrong, but understanding our own tendencies and seeing the subtle lessons all around us.
Learning from ants. Okay. Moving to the final chapter then, Proverbs 31. This delivers powerful advice, supposedly from a mother to her son, King Lemuel. What crucial guidance does she offer for rulers? Why is this so pivotal for leadership? She passionately warns against vices that really compromise judgment. She says, avoid destructive indulgences like sexual immorality and drunkenness. Because these don't just destroy a ruler personally. The text says they make them forget justice and pervert the rights of the afflicted.
So it impacts their ability to govern justly.
Precisely. Instead, she urges this commitment to just governance and, importantly, advocating for the vulnerable, for the poor, those who can't speak for themselves. This isn't just, good advice. It's presented as a foundational principle for effective, compassionate leadership.
So what does this all mean in the end? And then, of course, we get to the iconic description of the excellent wife or the virtuous woman. What makes her so valuable in this context, and how does this tie into the broader themes we've been discussing? Well, she's portrayed as far more precious than jewels. And importantly, not just for her domestic skills, though those are mentioned, it's also her diligence, her shrewd business acumen. She considers a field and buys it, and her compassionate outreach to the poor. She supports her husband's reputation, manages her household with real industriousness, and extends kindness.
It's a very active role.
Very active, yes. Her actions earn respect for her entire family. And her success in raising children, supporting her husband, managing affairs, it's directly tied to her fearing the Lord. That deep reverence and obedience is presented as the ultimate source of all this wisdom and excellence. It's quite a remarkable portrait of a woman whose wisdom, industry, and moral character contribute significantly to her family and community's prosperity.
This deep dive was brought to you by the Insights from the Center Studio.